West Central Saskatchewan. Thanks for joining me on the road once again. It's another week, so we're saluting another town here in West Central Saskatchewan. This time, the beautiful community of Elrose. It's another community that I haven't really spent a whole lot of time in my life, so I'm excited to go out there for the first time on my own and actually see what the town is all about. Check out some of the cool sights, some of the cool people, all that stuff.
Getting to Elrose isn't all that difficult. It's on the corner of Highway 4 and Highway 44, about 40 kilometers straight south of Rosetown. As of the last census, Elrose has a population of 496. The town was originally called Laberg when it was first settled in 1909 after local landowner Albert Laberg, but once the railroad arrived in 1914 and the settlement officially became a village, Elrose was chosen as the new name of the town. Elrose is known for having rich, fertile soil and rests just south of the rolling plains once called the Swift Current Battleford Trail.
You know, it's too bad there's a bit of a smoke haze here, because otherwise you'd have a beautiful look at some of the rolling plains of Saskatchewan as you drive into Elrose. It's actually kind of a gorgeous sight here. I can see it just fine. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but if you can't see it, you're definitely missing out, because it is a gorgeous sight. Oh, and actually, now that we're getting a little closer, maybe we even get a look at them as we get through the other side of town. So one of the first things I noticed coming through Elrose is this beautifully done cenotaph, along with all of the different flags behind me by the Elrose Legion that have been done to honor those who gave their lives during World War I and World War II from the area. And they're beautifully done. They include their names, photos, any accolades that they may have earned in that time as well, and their final resting place, which for all of them is either somewhere in Europe or they never returned at all.
Now, we all know there are two main pillars of any small community in Saskatchewan: a great community center, and Elrose has a great uniplex that they're quite proud of, and the other is locally owned businesses such as Mills Agencies, Midtown Auto Body, and Hooves and Paws Veterinary Services. And actually, the mayor of town, Dane McDonald, runs one of those businesses in 444 Services.
As for more kind of the fun stuff around the community, you know, is there any particular events that you guys do every year? Anything that, you know, really seems to bring people kind of home or bring community together every year?
Well, you know, there's always the Elrose Sports Day, except for the last 2 years, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
But the Elrose Sports Day, first weekend of June, it's always a real good time. Everybody's out behind the rink playing ball, and kids are having fun. It's usually one of the biggest days.
Now, another little detail you'll notice around Elrose is these little painted bikes that seem to be on every single storefront, on every single street corner. Everywhere you go, there seems to be one of these little painted bikes in Elrose. It's just another little thing that makes the town a little bit more unique. And I asked the Mayor Dane about this actually when I talked with him earlier.
Okay, I don't know a lot about it, but I know that a few years ago, the town council was approached to see if it was going to be an all right idea to kind of spruce up town with something kind of novel, like painted up bikes. So we said absolutely, anything that makes the town a little bit nicer and kind of interesting is going to be good. So we're real happy about it.
Yeah, I think it's a cool little thing, you know, you kind of just drive around like, oh, look, it's, you know, they're all kind of neat. It's like, have you ever been to Disney World? I think they do a bunch of like different versions of Mickey around town.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's kind of cool.
Same idea.
Yeah. I noticed too, you guys have kind of this nice little landscape over behind you too, with the hills, the rolling hills and stuff like that. Does that come into play with kind of the community around here? Like, is that something you guys are particularly proud of around with the geography of the place, or?
I think everybody knows how good of a view we've got from here. It is really picturesque off in the distance to have those rolling Coteau hills.
Now this is downtown Elrose, and as you can see on the left and right of me, there is those little painted and flowered up bikes on either side of the road in front of every little business. Nice little greenhouse we just passed on our right, and then here's the main attraction. We're going to turn in here for a second. This is their Main Street Park that they have going on, and I talked with the town office before I came up. They said it's in a little bit of disarray right now as they're kind of going through a reworking process, but I don't know about you. It looks pretty dang beautiful to me. One more spot that you should check out if you're ever coming through Elrose is right here at the Elrose District Heritage Society. Now, in the rolling plains that are south of Elrose, there's a lot of different history there. Some things like buffalo jumps and some teepee circles. Lots of really, really cool stuff out there. You can learn a lot about that heritage right here at the Elrose and District Heritage Society. Now, of course, They're closed today for my trip here, but just looking at the mural on the outside, you know, they got lots of really cool stuff inside too. Well, thank you very much for joining me on my trip out to Elrose. A nice, quaint, quiet little community. It's got a few little hidden gems to it as well. Just like everybody else in West Central Saskatchewan, though, there's always those hidden gems, and that's what we're on a trip to find. So, join me next week. I'm going to be heading out to Kerrobert. Now, that's a town that I have spent some time in, and I've got some buddies there, too, that I think are going to help me show off the town as well. If you want to be somebody who helps me out with our community ambassador, make sure you send me a text on the phone number below you and let me know when works for you. I think my camera's moving on the dashboard a little bit. Oh well. Either way, let me know what works for you, and we will make sure that you can come on out and show me around your hometown, show me the parts that you like, and show me the people that you like too, because that's what really is the heart of small town Saskatchewan, is the people around. So, thank you very much for joining me on the way to Elrose, and make sure you watch on next week as well, as we're going to be heading out to Kerrobert and seeing what makes those good people tick.